Hello and welcome back to today's video. If you're new here, welcome. I am glad you found my channel and I hope you stick around a little bit and maybe subscribe. So today I am working once again with Daniel Smith watercolors. If you have been here for a little while, you know that I bought the Jean Haines set that comes with, I think, 10 different colors, and I love it so much. I also have some tubes that I bought, I think it was last summer, and I haven't been using them very much. So I wanted to see if I could mix some of them in with some of the set that I have, and I'm so glad I did because I was able to achieve some really beautiful purples and blues. I am so happy with how they were able to mix with each other. I'm not surprised that that happened because they're all coming from the same company, but sometimes I question my color choices, let's say, and today was a good day. I am skipping through the mixing process a little bit, but make no mistake, I spent a long time putting in more color, making them move around, trying not to disturb certain areas if possible. It took me probably a good 30 minutes to get this done, if not more. I didn't check the time, but I definitely am just showing the fun parts here. All the colors I used, the ones from the set and the individual ones, are listed in the description box below the video in case you're interested, and also all of the other materials that I have used and am using. I try to list everything down below. I have links in there that you can go and check them out, and if you want to purchase them through my link, I do make a tiny commission off of Amazon. It's at no extra cost to you, but it just helps me in my channel because art materials are expensive and I gotta support myself somehow. So if you buy them through my link, or if you have bought them through my link in the past, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me. I didn't just want to create these boulder shapes. I really enjoyed the shapes that I did last week, and if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. And so I wanted to bring in some of those as well. I am using the Aqua Bronze by Schminke, and it's in the rich pale gold. I usually try to wait until the watercolor is completely dry to use it, because for some reason it disperses a little bit too much for me when it's wet. That might be user error, I don't know, but that's just how I perceive it. So I like to use it when it's dry, but today I really wanted to mix in some of that gold into the colors as well, just to give those solid shapes a little bit more interest. I know it doesn't really need it actually because the colors granulate so beautifully, but you know, a little bit of gold goes a long way. I actually just splurged and bought a whole bunch more of the Daniel Smith watercolors. Let's just call it an early Christmas gift to myself. I mean, do I have to wait until Christmas to open it up? No. I am going to use them, of course, as soon as I get them. And I didn't buy the tubes this time. I bought the sticks and I heard really good things about it, so I hope I'm not disappointed because I spent quite a bit of money on it. Unfortunately, they're really expensive, but the quality of those watercolors are just so beautiful, and I'm growing a little bit tired of the shades that I have currently, and I bought a few more of the blue ones. I bought a neutral tint. I mean, I will show you when I get them, but yeah, I'm really excited, and of course I will use them as soon as I get them. So this is the opera pink that you see here, and from what I have learned, it is not light fast. If you want to create this for yourself and you want to make sure that you use light fast colors, just replace it with something else. Also, I think the moon, what was it? The moon glow is also not light fast. So, you know, just be aware of that. And if you try this for yourself, you can always replace it with something similar. To me, it doesn't make that much of a difference because I don't sell these paintings. If anything, I will scan them in and use them for something else or for maybe a print. So to me, it doesn't make a difference. I think I may have overdone it with the colors in this boulder here. I don't know, I got excited and I just want to try them all. But I know I'm going to doodle over it, and also they dry much lighter, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'm just trying to squeeze in my last shape here, and then I will let everything dry completely. I like to let my paintings dry naturally. I don't want to take a hairdryer to it. I feel like they just dry a little bit differently than what I prefer. So I let it dry completely before I continue. I probably could have sat there for hours just adding a little bit more here and there because I just love how they interact with each other. I wanted to recreate some more interest the same way that I did on the left side, but unfortunately the bottom layer wasn't quite dry. Now it's dry though completely, and now I can add some more of the gold splatters, and I chose to add a few more of, I can't remember now which color it was, probably the lunar blue, just so I have a few more things to doodle with. And this is what it looks like now. Even though the gold splatters aren't quite dry yet, I can continue with outlining some of my shapes with the gold because those bottom layers are now completely dry. And because I really enjoyed the way it looked last time, I decided that I wanted to give these shapes a gold band around it. It just looks so dainty and fine. I really like how this turns out. I have to remember to link this brush or something similar to it in the description box because I really love how fine you can make those lines. And I don't know if you can see the difference of the lines or the dots to the gold that I used in the colors. It just stays put more when I use the gold when the background is dry. And that's what I meant by not wanting to use the gold in the wet watercolor, because it goes everywhere. And sometimes that's okay, but other times it's a little tough, especially when you're like me and you like using a lot of water on your page. Although I tried really hard to restrict myself with the water use, because I know that the granulating colors work a lot better when you don't douse it with water. It's one thing I learned. And then I added a few more of the gold dots manually because I just wanted a few more of those little strands. And then I am off to doodling on top. I always hate covering it up because, especially with these granulating colors, they just look so beautiful on their own. But if I keep my doodles loose enough, you can still see it in the background, so no worries there. I know I am not reinventing the watercolor background here. It has been done many, many times before by lots of wonderful watercolor artists. But I know why, because it is just so much fun to create and something that you don't really have to think about. So these backgrounds are just a good exercise to do even in your sketchbook, just to get something down. And if you want to be creative but you don't want to use too much brain power behind it. I am always on the lookout for new doodles for myself. And one way I like to do that is going on Instagram or Pinterest and just scroll through either other people's watercolor paintings or doodle creations, or I take ideas from other artists that are not watercolor artists or doodle artists. I get a lot of inspiration from pottery and mosaics. So if you get stuck, or if you feel like you see the same stuff over and over and you need new inspiration, try and think beyond watercolors and doodles. What I'm not doing is saving those, and I probably should. I should just make a Pinterest board of my findings and just put it there so I can reference back to it whenever I need to get new inspiration. Because sometimes I scroll and I'm like, ooh, that looks really beautiful. And then I keep scrolling and I forget to take a screenshot or save it to a folder or Pinterest. I'd be interested to hear how you all find your inspiration. Do you just watch videos, or do you also go on Pinterest, or do you find it, in nature, or if you look at different kind of artwork? I think we're here to learn from each other, and it would be really neat if you could share your experience. I also try to make a conscious effort when I'm out and about, especially when I go for a walk, to find inspiration. There's so much inspiration just in nature alone that it would be kind of silly if we didn't take advantage of it. In fact, I have so many photos of leaf shapes that alone could fill a whole doodle page by itself. What I then need to practice is, the placement and the type of doodle lines that I want to put inside, of course. So that's a whole nother issue that I have. Sometimes I just have to be happy with where my lines land sometimes. Let's just leave it at that. I like to have it perfect, and that is not the point. It's a constant struggle in my brain, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that's happening to. Part of me really likes the neatness, and the other part of me is extremely chaotic. I don't know. I can't make sense of it, nor do I want to. That's just who I am, and I love it that way. All right, I am starting to wind down this video. I added a few more circle shapes with my fine liner pen, and now I am adding my dots. And the way I do this, these are dotting tools that you can purchase as a set. It comes with different nibs, and then I just use acrylic paint for it. I have done these so many times that I can now just place my lines, and then I can later go in and add the dots. I pretty much know where I want to put them as I am working on this set, but if you're just starting out and you want to try out this technique for yourself, the way I've done it before is just add the lines and the dots one after another, because I couldn't quite figure out where I wanted to place things, and that helped a lot. I just really like the way it looks, and it kind of ties everything together and finishes it off. Of course, there's a lot of different ways that you can create this look. You don't have to do it the same way I do. That's just one way for me to create this look. I tried doing this with pens in the past, and it just wasn't satisfactory to me. I don't like the way it looks. I like the way it looks with my dotting tool a lot more. So for whatever it's worth, this is how I do it, and if you want to try it out, you're more than welcome to. All right, everyone, I want to say thank you very much one more time for joining me in today's video. If you haven't already done so, please like and share, or even subscribe if you just found me and you want to see more. I usually upload every Friday unless something comes up and I can't do it, but lately that has been the schedule, so I'm fairly regular, and I have a pretty big library so far of videos, so there's lots for you to watch. I will see you next week. Please take care of yourselves, and happy end of October to all of you.